This video is sponsored by NordVPN.
See if we can bring the bow down. Get secured out there because you got a long ride.
Maybe I shouldn't have mic'd you.
Yeah.
Our mission is to save these incredible abandoned lighthouses using new technology while preserving the history and helping the environment of the Chesapeake Bay. This is Project Lighthouse.
Hey Thomas, let's go down below. Whoa, that's loud.
We should grease it quick before, so then we can...
I don't think that does. I don't think that'll change. It's the grinding of. So the cool thing about having this boat lift is we can, anytime we want to go down along the water line, we can use this as a platform and just hit the button and go down. Look, we have multiple sailboats, jet skis. This is a busy day. There's a, I don't know what that is, how to describe that boat. So we all know that oysters love a hard substrate to grow on because they actually grow vertically. So what happens when you take a large structure and place it right in the middle of the bay where there really weren't any oysters growing is they attach to it and they start growing. Here's a real large one right here at our ladder. Unfortunately, it makes a really sharp surface for us to have an inflatable boat rubbing up against. But we're very happy to have oysters growing all over the side of the caisson and down below on the riprap, which are chunks of rock that they dumped around the lighthouse to avoid scouring from the currents pushing the sand back and forth around the lighthouse. So really cool, great example of what happens when you provide something for the oysters to grow on. So in order to repopulate the oyster population in the Chesapeake Bay, the best thing we can do is provide a hard substrate for them to grow on, such as what those concrete reef balls that they make, or an undisturbed oyster reef. We want to provide a little sanctuary of oysters where oysters can grow. As we build the dock, that's going to be pilings for them to grow on, and we want to bring out more things. But we will show you some video of down below where the oysters have grown and survived for the past 125 years on the riprap that was dumped in the middle of the bay.
So in order to get oysters to grow at the lighthouse, we went over to Horn Point Laboratory.
It looks like it would smell terrible, but it really doesn't smell at all.
I'm Daniel, by the way.
Daniel?
Nice
Okay,
to meet
nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Rich.
I'm a high school intern
Cool.
this year, yes.
Hello.
Staple it for you. This is
Okay, awesome. All right, thank you very much. We're in Cambridge, Maryland, and we're at Horn Point Laboratory, which is a subsidiary of the University of Maryland Center for Environmental Sciences. Did I get it right?
Yep, exactly. Right on there, man. Yeah, definitely.
Quick tour. We're here picking up our spat on shell. We'll do a full video.
Here's some figures for us.
What do these figures represent?
So this is basically our spat overboard every year that we produce. So each one of these shells represents 1 million.
Spat overboard!
Exactly.
Did you yell that when it...
It's close to it, close. Attached to the shell, and once they attach to these shells, they're super hardy, they're ready to go, they're going to survive for you guys. We breed enough different oysters, we kind of get that biodiversity, a different genetic pool, so that everybody's kind of ready for everything.
Hi,
Look
how
at
are
that.
you?
She would be your champion tour giver. She would be the champion.
Yeah.
When you come back in the summertime, the queen of oysters.
Before we take these oysters out to the lighthouse, I want to take a quick second to talk about today's sponsor, NordVPN. Out on the lighthouse, we're exposed to the elements all the time. Salty air, storms, but it's pretty isolated. Versus online, you're exposed every time you connect without protection. That's why we use NordVPN. It locks down your connection, hides your IP, and keeps trackers and snoopers off your back. Whether you're on public Wi-Fi at a coffee shop or on a 100-year-old lighthouse. Another cool feature is the ability to watch geo-locked shows from anywhere. Being from Pennsylvania, my dad likes to keep up with Philly sports, and when we're traveling to lighthouses in Maryland and Virginia, you can't always watch the games because they're on local networks. Well, this allows you to do that. So if you're interested in trying out NordVPN risk-free for 30 days and getting a huge discount on a 2-year plan, plus 4 bonus months free, use the link in the description or go to nordvpn.com/lighthouse. Thank you NordVPN for sponsoring this part of the video, and now back to the lighthouse.
Well, we got the boat totally loaded this time. Every time we come out, it's like so much stuff we have to bring out. And this time, this might be the most we've ever taken out. We have 9 bags of oyster spat on shell. We have all the cages. We got our kitchen sink, another table, all our food and supplies for a couple days.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
Everything, including the kitchen sink, which I'm standing on right now, so I hope I didn't break it because it's porcelain. But we can't even put our feet down. See how it rides with all this weight in it. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a bit of a slow ride out, Thomas. Let's see what it does. Untie it. All right, so this is fun. We just left the marina, going out to the lighthouse. We have so much stuff on the boat. Oysters, spat on shell, all this equipment and stuff for work, and this is the maximum speed the boat will go right now. It's about 7.4 miles an hour, and it's not getting up on plane, so it's gonna be a long ride. So there's too much weight in the back, and we can't get up on plane. So Thomas, why don't you go sit up on the bow, see if we can bring the bow down. You can hear the RPMs coming up. Oh, nice. So get secured out there because you got a long ride.
All right, you catching this? 3, 2, 1. Nice.
Of course. Homie, don't miss.
What?
Never mind.
Maybe I shouldn't have mic'd you.
Yeah. Okay, this one's pretty heavy. How's your back?
Good. Hurts like normal.
People are gonna ask why we don't just use the crane. The jib boom.
And the answer is?
The pulley. Because that door is locked and we don't want to park over there. I could easily.
It's actually really annoying to use the pulley, is the answer.
Yeah, we need a better one, which we shouldn't tell people. All right, be very careful. The Chipotle is in this one. I'm definitely diving in the water if that falls. It's a matter of life or death. 5 gallons.
Feel heavier than normal.
All right, this PVC is a bit slippery, so hopefully. I just thought, oh no, I forgot my iPad, but I actually put it in the cooler with the food because I didn't know where else to put it. That's a protected, like hard case. All right. Oh wait. Please don't drop my bag.
No guarantees.
Careful.
Oh, my hands are getting.
You're almost done. 2 more. I had no idea these things would be this heavy.
Yeah? What did you expect 9 bushels of oyster to be like?
I thought they were baby oysters. I thought they would be in these tiny bags. Okay, people, today is a really big day that I've been waiting for a long time. We went to Horn Point Laboratory and we picked up these 9 bags of oyster spat on shell. I'm gonna open one up and show it to you. So basically, they take an oyster seed called spat, put them in a bath of water, and it attaches to an existing oyster shell. And we get to hang them off the side of the lighthouse. We're gonna see how they grow. We're gonna eventually have them at all our lighthouses and compare the different types of water and how it affects how they grow. But it's been a very long day. We started in Pennsylvania and we drove to Cambridge to pick up the oysters, had to meet someone else to pick up oysters for us to eat and do some other things, load up the boat, bring everything out. So by the time we got out here and we ate because we were starving, it's starting to get dark. So the good thing about being out on a lighthouse is there's very little land for shading, so it takes a long time for the sun to go down, and we do get a little more daylight than you would at home where there's shading and stuff and hills like in Pennsylvania. So let's get to work. Set up the time lapse, Thomas. I bought this cable at our wannabe sponsor, Home Depot. I didn't want to use rope because during storms, the cages are going to swing because they're literally hanging down below the surface. We'll probably go about 10 feet down into the water where it's about 20 feet deep, so about halfway down, and we're gonna hang, and we don't want ropes rubbing or they definitely will tear and then we'll have lose our oysters and have to retrieve them. So we're gonna hang them with cable and then we'll be able to pull them up and look at them every time we come out. All right, you wanna slice this open? Let it drop in there. All right, next time we cut the top.
Lift a little higher.
Yay. Wow, there are a lot in there. Must be hundreds. I told him we were gonna count them because he didn't know how many were in a bag, but we don't have time for that. All right, so he's got this nifty clip. Don't swing a razor blade like that. We can't have
What could happen?
Can't have a serious incision on a lighthouse.
It's not sharp enough to cut anyone anyway.
Really? You really can't see the spat.
What if they just gave us a bunch of shells?
It's a shell game. They switched it for the shells that have the spat. About 6 months ago, right, Thomas? Last fall, we dropped some oyster cages in down here. It was spat on shell, little bait, just a speck the oysters were on the shell. And we're gonna pull them up 6 months later and see what they look like. They're probably coated with a lot of algae growth and stuff, but we'll find out. It's
Looks
getting
like
heavier.
something straight out of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pressure wash them. All right, so I gotta get down there and hook it. It shouldn't be too hard. It's a good thing we opened this door up. As long as we've been coming out to the lighthouse, which is over a year, this ladder access area has been padlocked by the previous owner, and we've just been using the other side. So while I'm out here with the grinder, I decided today's the day that we're gonna cut that padlock off and be able to use this side. Now, Thomas thinks that I can't climb over the edge and get back to the ladder, and I think I can. So should we play some kind of a bet? If I win the bet by safely climbing to the ladder and grinding that off, then I win something from you. And if you win the bet, then I'm dead. So I guess you'll get some death benefits of some kind. Just kidding, I won't really die. It'll just be really annoying. I'll fall in the cold water and I'll have to swim around to the other ladder. Here comes a boat. Let's get this done before that boat sees the calamity that's about to ensue.
They're like blasting a radio or something.
Okay, I won't use the ladder. Well, this is easier than I thought. See, super easy. I win! And I didn't touch the door until now.
Great work.
Does that count? Do I have to cut it without touching the door too? All right, get me a grinder. Oh, I could sit right here on the door. I don't even know if we should remove this padlock. It really is just as easy to climb around it. I'm kidding, give me the grinder.
Should we do a wave?
All right, so it's got all this junk on it. Ugh, it's falling in my face. Ugh. For all our friends on YouTube who keep asking us to tether our tools, look at this. I tethered it with its own cord. Oh man, it's gonna have to be cut way up there. I want to save this for the Lighthouse Museum. See, it would have fallen down into the bay. One more artifact for the Lighthouse Museum. Now here's the problem. How are we gonna get that around through? I'm gonna need a hammer and try to hammer that rounded section through. Call that a hammer?
Figured a small hammer would be easier.
Got it. All right, other piece coming. And now the moment of triumph. The first, ow. Okay, I hit my head here. It's just like the first time I came up the other hatch, I hit my head. Okay, well, I hit my head here. All right, I am the first person to climb through this hatch in, lo, these many years. There we go. Now we have a secondary entrance and exit to use. It's getting a bit nautical, as they say. I'm gonna reach around. Well, I guess I could open the door up all the way.
That looks pretty full.
Full of crap, full of algae.
Do you want me to swing it? Got it.
I just got hit in the face with some sharp cable. There we go. That went according to plan.
What are the odds it just rips that cage apart?
Ooh. Well, it took through a couple pieces, but do you think it's made for this? I see some critters jumping off of it. Did you see that? No. Okay, so what we're looking at is, I have no idea. Bunch of goop. So these are
Sea squirts.
They start out as these like gelatinous globules. And you know what? Let's get some stuff out. All right, let's get our first suspect out. So what we have are what sponge, oh look. Whoa, cool. It's like a little, like a squirt toy, but it's an annoying.
Sea squirts.
There's the new oyster right there. Okay, and maybe the
Sea squirts.
like smother them. Wish we had an expert. Look, there they are. All right, so and there's a little wormy guy. That's pretty cool. Some type of sea worm. There you go, off to feed somebody else. There's all kinds of critters crawling on me now. Okay, so here we have a cluster of oysters. So what they do is they take the oyster shell and they put it in a bath of spat, which is a little teeny oyster swimming around. They attach to the shell, and then you throw the shell in the bay, and it grows multiple oysters on it. So you see we have, I'm gonna get a scrub brush and water, and we'll scrub it off, and then we'll talk about this. It's loaded with oysters. Oh, there's like a grass shrimp. He's gonna jump when I grab him. Oh, there he goes. Oh, he just jumped. Here he is. Oh, I want this guy so bad. All right, here, this is cool. So this is a grass shrimp. Looks just like a regular, larger shrimp, but they only grow to about 1.5 inches in size. See, look at me, I'm learning stuff about the bay already. They're found normally in shallow water, but around the lighthouse, there's a lot of riprap, which is rocks and things that they can hide on and survive. So obviously the cage is a great place for him to hide or her, because big fish predators can't get through there. So we created quite an environment for the shrimp. There's another one, there he goes, it just jumped. So there's a lot of them living in there. I'm gonna put them back in. Well, it wants to jump out. Back you go. Wonder if he'll make it. Okay, so I'm gonna get a scrub brush and a bucket of water, and we'll see what other nifty critters we find in there. All right, this should be interesting. There's a nice container ship there, Thomas. Let's grab another rando oyster here and see what happens. All right, very interesting. You see the markings of beginning of an oyster there, some critters crawling out, and it just like sprayed me. Okay, so this one isn't quite as prolific as the other one, but you see that's a baby oyster growing. That's an oyster. That might be a barnacle on an oyster, maybe not. Yeah, that's a hard barnacle. Okay, so they appear to be mainly growing on the inside. And so what will happen is they'll grow together and grow into an oyster cluster, and the clusters will grow together into an oyster reef. They'll keep growing on top of each other. The ones below will die and give you a what they call a hard bottom or a base for the oysters to grow on. Then you have an oyster reef. So let's get some more, see what else we find in here. Barnacles galore. Oh, this one might be particularly productive. Oh, Thomas is gonna be really mad at me. See, it's spam, it's not my fault. This one's pretty cool. Again, oyster clusters growing, some kind of hairy stuff. Oh, maybe that came off the brush. So we have oysters on both sides. So this isn't just one baby oyster growing. This is an entire cluster of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe more. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I am holding in my hand 12 oysters. That's great. Oh my God, look at this entire clump of
sea squirts.
There's a creepy crawler. Oh, I think that might be a baby shrimp, super small one, right there. See it? All
sea squirts.
Man, I wish they tasted good. Like things are crawling all over my hands. I don't know what those are. Guess what else I should talk about, Thomas, while we're doing all this amazing, exciting stuff? Mm-hmm. We have a
YouTube members page.
We share lots of just regular unedited videos. Every time we're doing something, I quick grab an unedited video and just drop it on there. Say hello to everyone, much more personal. And check out that ship, it's getting closer. It's really, really cool. I'm not gonna try to pronounce the first part of it. Hapag Lloyd, I just did. Anyway, I would say it's quite a success, and we're gonna have to move these to a different location as they grow. Let's take a
Hopefully we can plant them. That's our goal is to basically make a reef out here.
Exactly. There's a little baby crab in here. I'm going to try to get him so you guys can see. He just crawled and hid behind that little mess of goop. And I believe this is a mud crab, not a blue crab. Okay, so there he is in case he gets away while I try to grab him. Looks like he won't. All right. So there we go. He's trying to pinch me. I think it's a mud crab, not a blue crab, because they tend to live among oysters in places like this. He's really trying to pinch me. He just doesn't have the strength. Here's an example of what you get when you grow an oyster reef. So you have all these critters. You see all these things crawling all over me. They are all food for larger animals. So bigger fish and all types of creatures. So anyway, all types of critters living among the oysters, providing more food for all types of animals. And so basically they get a lot of cover.
It's a great example of how an ecosystem works and why different animals need different cover to survive. And when you have that,
keep going. He's loving it.
When you have that cover and that ecosystem, then even more animals then can survive off those. The larger animals come in.
Yeah, and the fantastic thing about oysters, in addition to all the great benefits that they have to the environment by cleaning the water and such, is that they provide their own cover, their own habitat by growing their own reef. So it's really amazing. So when you're growing oysters for a reef, you can just keep them together and let them clump up. The oysters that we eat, they need to break them apart, they rotate them, they clean them, so they will grow separately. And normally they don't grow them on shell, they grow individual oysters and keep them separated so they can bring them to market.
I also want them pretty.
Yeah, then people.
That's a big reason.
Oh, here we go. What is this guy? So this looks like a little fish of some kind. What is that? I think it's an oyster toad, a toadfish. I think this is a baby toadfish. When they get larger, I think they actually eat oysters. They apparently their jaw is so strong can actually crack an oyster shell, which I find hard to believe.
So this is actually not true, and the myth comes from the nickname that locals have given them, which is oyster crackers. And there's no real link to exactly when this nickname started, but it's probably because they do eat things like crabs and shrimp, and they do have very powerful jaws, but they're not quite strong enough to break open an oyster.
I think that's what that one is. They just squirt right at you in anger for being disturbed. So there are different methods of oyster farming, keeping your oysters clean. And the truth is, if they're close to the surface, the movement of the waves can tumble and clean the oyster. So I think what we're going to do is, until we come back next week, let's hang them down just below the water and let the waves wash over them, and maybe it'll clean them up.
It takes about 2 years for an oyster to reach full size, so we'll be showing them along the way. We're also hoping to grow some oysters for eating out at the Lighthouse when we host events on Darge. Speaking of Darge, we have Darge Part 2 coming out very soon with an update on how the construction's going. Thanks again for liking and subscribing, and also a special thanks to our members who help make this whole thing possible. If you're interested in getting some behind-the-scenes updates on what we're doing right now, you can click the join button down below. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.